run. I don't know. Maybe I'm coming around on the quarterback, Tom. Boy, Matt Lasser, 4 o'clock in the morning. Lasser's over there at the airport, which is just not the job for me. So I'm glad somebody on our staff does it because I wouldn't be the one. And anyhow, it's great that he's there because, we get some insight and you get excited a little bit whenever quarterbacks are being talked about. But I want to give him credit. I want to say thank you on the air to our own Matt Lasser. After that morning, being over there doing that, he went out to the Seminoles yesterday and shot some videos of my son scoring a touchdown and making some catches, and he sent them to me. He didn't have to do that. How cool is that? So thank you, Matt. I appreciate that very much.
They made a good run, too, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm stunned. I'm being honest with you. I'm stunned. I mean, I didn't, Leon, they're not very good. They're an okay program. Not good last year, pretty good the year before, but it's been a tough run for Leon. Their heyday has been years ago. And so I don't have lofty expectations. I expect certain individuals, including my son, to play well, but I don't expect much in the way of great results. And so I think there were 30-something teams that were in the last 4 standing. They beat Gadsden. And so anyhow, they got this is the cool part. Here's proud Papa moment to start, okay? The team, by winning the games that they did, got to go into the indoor practice facility as one of the last 4 teams standing to play what would amass as count as a semifinal game. I don't know, something like that. And so, I don't know, I started thinking about it from his perspective, how if you're out there, out in the heat, I mean, and they were all cramping up. Apparently everybody out there was yesterday because it's 1,000 degrees. Like all the teams had issues with cramps, and Bryce was one who did as well. He's a starting receiver, so you're running constantly at 7 on. You're running route after route after route after route. And, he got, cramped in his calves and everything else. Got some of that pickle juice, Tommy.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And after all of that, they won enough and got to go into the indoor practice facility to play the next game, which is cool. And I thought, if I were his age, if I were 17 years old, just coming off my junior year in high school, and I was playing in one of these things, and I got to go inside the indoor practice facility that FSU practices in, that would feel, because the first time when you and I walked into it, when they first opened it, you're kind of awed. It's pretty cool.
It is. Yes, that was Jalen Ramsey's freshman year, and we saw him running with the threes, and he looked different versus anybody else who was running with the threes on that particular field. I remember walking into my high school basketball gym for the first time, because in middle school, you play in these rec buildings like a YMCA or whatever, and some of them have, high enough ceilings. But then you walk into a place with wooden grandstands, and the one that's Caballero Gym at CCC, it has kind of a dome shape to it. It's small, but it's dome shaped. So at that time, the Trop had a dome. It just feels like you're walking into a place of decadence, a place of reverence, and you're like, oh my God, I'm able to play in on this surface in this place. IPF would have to feel something like that. It'd be like stepping on a major course. And being on a tee box and realizing, oh my God, Tiger hit this shot from this tee box. Yeah, I'm sure.
I felt that way when I played the first time I played Sawgrass, TPC over there. When you tee it up, I played better the second time I played there than the first, and it was solely because I wasn't in awe anymore. Because that's the 5th major, as they say. That course is famous, and if you win the Players. So I've watched those for 40 years, 30 years. And I, every time I would come up on a certain hole, I'd be like, oh, this is where Phil hit this. This is where Tiger hit this. This is where Sergio hit this. And you're just, you're kind of more in awe of the course than you are trying to play the game.
In a lesser example, first time I played Legacy, because I know Jack put his hands on the course.
Right.
I carded an 8 on the first hole. I was so nervous. And because it was the old Don Veller, it was like all of these things.
Don Veller.
I'm like, oh man, Jack just hit the first ceremonial tee shot out here a few weeks ago. What? This place is going to be something else. And you're not thinking about the proper things. But that's the part of being, someplace for the first time ever. He'll never forget that. And every time he sees your photos or videos from the IPF moving forward, I played on that field.
Credit to Mike Norvell. Addressed all the teams that were out there, addressed my son's team when they lost in the semifinal game. He came over and talked to all of them. And it was impressive. Bryce was very excited when he got home. He was like, Coach Norvell came over and talked to us individually. It was really cool. So that's always cool. Sometimes it gets lost, man. We cover this for a living, recruiting, 7-ons, all these things. You hear about them constantly. I'm always more of a big picture guy. But it's cool when you hear from kids and being that age again or seeing it through their lenses. It's really pretty neat, because I don't ever really think about it. I'm like, somebody asked me, why aren't you out there watching? I go, you want me to go out and watch 7-on-7? I'm not going to do that. It's 100 degrees and 7-on-7. I'm not going to do that.
You can't be going out there cutting side deals when you're watching 7-on-7?
No.
Talking to some of the GAs? But hey, get the word upstairs to the man.
No, I'm not doing that. And I'm not going to go. I don't care if my son catches 750 passes in a 7-on. I'm not going.
I never felt dirtier in my life than the first day I walked out there for a camp that Jimbo Fisher put on. It has nothing to do with Jimbo. It's just the industry. At the old IM Fields.
I remember this.
Near College Town. And somebody was sick that day. So I was working for a different outlet. And I remember Mario Pender being the star there. And Jaron Curse was a stud out there that day. I think he was a sophomore or a junior in high school. But you're just watching how the sausage is made, and you kind of get sick to your stomach a little bit. It's a little bit more honest now because there's more cash. But man, oh man, the politicking that was done, I was like, oh, this is a nasty business.
Well, you got to get good at it, no matter what it is, whether it's paying them outright or massaging their egos of yesteryear and paying them under the table. Whatever it is, it's hugely important. And I was just on the Chuck Oliver show, and he was asking me about recruiting. And, it is obvious to college football observers that has been Mike's kryptonite. It was the lead question. It was the first thing he said and he said it, I didn't have to say it. He's like, well, I know most in the industry don't look at Mike as much of a recruiter. Okay then, Chuck. And he's like, how's that coming now? I was like, well, off of 2-10, you can imagine that it's not great, but they're chipping away. It did get better this week. I feel like this week they made some inroads. There was some positive news regarding recruiting. Again, I think most people are of the mindset, they're similar to my mindset. Yeah, you need to be good at it. I'd like to hear positive news, not negative news. It's good when a 4 or 5-star player says that they're interested in coming to your school and not, say, Florida or Miami. We want that kind of news. But you don't hold it near and dear to your heart because you got a long way to go to procure that commitment. This doesn't mean anything just yet. Go out and lose by 40 to Alabama, and every one of the kids that said they're interested are not interested. That's what happens. And so I think that the news you want typically isn't that, hey, this kid is interested. It's that the upper crust, the upper echelon of the kids that you want to bring in are willing to come. You got to get them here to have a chance with them. You want to hear some positive talk about your school. You want to know that they're on the radar. You want to know that they're making inroads in their communications and relationship building. Yes, it's great if one of them says they're coming. It's awesome. But coming to school here, that's awesome. But truthfully, you're just kind of like, all right, are we in the ballpark? Do we have a chance with any of these guys? Are we even in the game?
Well, shoot. I mean, I would take the commitment over the kid walking out of a visit and saying, Florida State gave me something to think about here. Like, no, I'll take the commitment. Does the word mean anything? No. But, that a kid is committed means more than them walking out of the building and saying, well, Florida State, I'm releasing my top 5 in a month, and I think Florida State has a pretty good chance to maybe make my top 5. No, man, I'd rather have the commitment on hand because then you have to do something wrong to lose the commitment, or somebody else has to come out of pocket for more than they were willing to steal the kid away from you. So it's better to have them than not. It's obvious. The Bama game and the Miami game are going to be critical. I don't know that the Bama game by itself would be a disqualifier if you lose. And let's say you lose by 3 scores. If you bounce back and you play well in that Miami game, when you're going to host kids on campus with a fully functional FOF out there, which it's really, the facing of the building looks cool from what I've seen.
It does.
As long as you handle business in one of those 2 games, I think you're going to be in position to have a pretty good class. But you can't go 0 for 2. You go 0 for 2 and then forget it.
Well, they're big ifs. I mean, that's the problem. I agree. You don't have to beat Alabama to procure a good class. You do have to win a game of note, and you get 2 of them pretty early on. So it'd be great. They're not favored in either one. I can tell you that. You got to play well though. I mean, you got to play well. It's got to be appealing. You got to look at the product and see vast improvement. Last year, in addition to actually losing the games, there was nothing about your program that could possibly sustain any interest. You were bad at football and you didn't play real hard. That is a deadly combination. I suspect there's zero chance that you get the lack of effort that we saw a year ago. Like people ask for guarantees this time of year because they're gearing up in their mind for the season. And they want to know what's possible. What's the high end prediction? What's the low end prediction? What do you think is most likely to happen? They're all just speculative, of course. But when people ask me for something definitive, I say, look, I think they're going to play hard. I don't think there's any question that they'll play hard. I mean, that sounds so minimalist, but after last year, man, you need to know.
Hey, man, I'm also looking to make sure that this roster, in terms of the guys who contribute, have their head on their shoulders in a good way. Not just that they play hard, but that they're not idiots, because it all comes into question after last season about what's the culture of this team. Remember, we shoot it away after the Orange Bowl in 63-3. Don't you ask about culture? What are you talking about? Everybody opted out of that game. But then you see what happens against BC and Memphis. That's always the one for me, that game. That shows me whether you give a damn for the sake of giving a damn or not. And no. And then the Miami game, you got dudes jogging around. Okay. Several of those guys are back. And some other kids that are underclassmen that are making their way up the ranks and trying to compete for a 2 deep. You see some things pop off the field. You go, okay, where are we? Because most of the time that Mike has a guy come in and they do a newcomer interview, you're like, all right, I like this kid. This is what we want to be about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we get hit with adversity again early in the season, is that going to stick? That's the other thing here is, can you absorb a disappointment early in the season, and does it go to hell in a handbasket? So we can talk about right now, looks like that they've brought in the turnover, 40 new bodies on campus, all this stuff. Well, that's wonderful, but the culture failed last year.
Completely.
So can it withstand a disappointment early this season? Is it strong enough to handle that, bounce back, and play like men?
That's why the spring was important. He was weeding people out. He was trying to see who was going to try.
And he was distraught over the responses he was getting through the first 6, 7, 8 practices.
It's not a fun practice. It's not a fun process. You have kids that you've invested in. You have players that physically can compete, can play. And you're right to point out that many of those kids that were a part of spring this year were part of that failure a year ago on the field. He was begging some players to find the intensity, find the drive again, sacrifice, commit, lay it on the line. These aren't easy practices. I'm going to challenge you. I want to see who's still with us. I mean, I think a lot of people believe that's how the Hakeem Williams departure occurred.
Sure.
I mean, that this was all right, we're out of time. Do you want to be here? Are you going to play hard? Are you going to lay it on the line every day? Every day. Because if it's not there, you're going to have to take it on down the road.
Right. And, well, what's interesting about this group is these questions I'm asking out loud are mostly about the defense, not the offense, because the offense is basically brand new. I mean, everywhere you look. 5
new offensive linemen, a brand new starting quarterback. You're probably going to have 2 new running backs.
If Jaylen Brown wasn't dismissed, I'd reserve that question for him. But he was dismissed, so I don't have to worry about that. They got new players everywhere. I don't worry about Earl Little trying. I worry about Shaheem Brown trying. All right. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know that Earl Little is always going to be in the right place. He's got to prove that he can do that, and I hope he does.
Yes, he does.
But I'm not going to worry about his motor. Edwin Joseph, I am not worried about his motor whatsoever. But there are some dudes on the defensive line, maybe at the linebacking core, a couple of guys in the secondary, specifically at safety. Are you with us? Are you with us here? And if you give up a couple of busted plays early on, what's your body language like? Does it look like the end of Jimbo, Willie's tenure, 2024? Or do we just put our head down and we go make the next play?
I've wondered, it's not a great subject to get into because it involves presumption of failure. But if they fail to win either, you brought up the two games. People are. I just jumped in the chat here to say hello to everybody and take a look. If we go 0-2, Brett Taylor writes, with Bama and Miami, next up is Clemson. You're going to need to win at least one of the Miami-Alabama games. Yeah, because we're kind of penciling in a loss to Clemson right about now. It's a loaded team. You're on the road. Problematic. It doesn't seem like a very winnable game. Not saying you can't win it, just doesn't feel very winnable. So one of the two of Bama and Miami, yes, I would agree you got to do it. My point that I was going to bring up is if you don't, you got a guy who's aspiring to be a head coach as your defensive coordinator and one who has multiple times been a head coach as your offense coordinator. Do they move on in season?
In season?
I think his run here is tenuous, buddy.
If a coordinator was to leave a job in the regular season, their reputation is shot at everywhere but the place that they go next. No, I don't think so. There could be a report that at the end of the year they take a different job, but they would bail in October?
No. I'm saying, does Mike get fired and one of them elevated?
I thought you meant they would.
No, God, no. No, one of them could be the active head coach in the moment.
That is where the way the games look matter.
Yeah.
If you're just not good enough, that's one thing. And, I mean, look, we're all saying that whether we like it or not, 8-4 would be an improvement and a stabilizing season. You don't have to win those two games to go 8-4.
No.
So there's a way to, if you handle business against Virginia and you handle business against Wake and Pitt and Stanford, and you're just not good enough against Bama and Miami, that's different than guys shutting down in the second half of the Miami game because they're just over.
Way it looks. It's the right answer.
That can't happen again, though.
But you cannot. That's why I said, and by the way, I probably didn't make this abundantly clear. I meant that they would fire Mike because you have an active or a former head coach on your staff already that would be an easy guy to turn to. And if you didn't want to turn to him, you wanted to go younger. Let's say the defense was playing well. You could go to Tony White, who's already interviewed for head coaching jobs and in the industry is believed to be a rising star and somebody who will be a head coach. And having spoken to him a few times face-to-face, you can see why people think that. I just meant because of the effort issues a year ago, we're all on alert from Jump Street. So then you would have this sort of situation where you'd say, maybe they're just not playing for him.
Right. If he has, and I know what the retort to this is, and it's not wrong. If he has his Willie moment, like versus Miami, the home game, you might say, Tom, he's had 5 Willie moments already. Yes, that is
all
fair.
Of last year was a Willie moment, but
Jacksonville State too. I mean, that's hubris to lose that game in that manner. And unfortunately, just like you say, when you finish second in a lot of things and then you finally win one, those seconds are brought up as feathers in your cap. When you go 2-10, Jacksonville State is out of people's mouths really fast again. It was in the rear view, and
they'll always find it.
And
another thing, it's right there.
Hang on a minute.
They open up the glove box. They lift up the cushions.
But we all know what that feeling is when you watch it. Again, you saw quitting last year. You know what that looks like. You know what that feels like. And if you see that on the field this year, that's in the stands. You know, well, this is done.
I was amazed at how many times certain fans, a segment of the fan base that just loves Mike. And I want Mike to work. I've seen it work with Mike. And so, it's in there. He's also, I think, professionally enjoyable in terms of covering a team and talking with the head coach. He's not crazy. He's not, underhanded. I think Mike is pretty straightforward. He's a hard worker. He cares. He loves the kids. I know that. And that's not a prerequisite. It'd be nice. It goes a long way. But no, there's nothing unsavory about Mike. So you're rooting for good guys to win. You want them to do it. Also, I don't feel like starting over. It's a miserable process. We've had to do too much lately. Anyhow, that segment of the fan base a year ago contorting themselves in a bunch of different directions in order to try to manipulate the conversation. Well, they haven't quit. I don't see evidence of them quitting. What are you looking at the game? What are you talking about? They haven't quit.
Hey, man, I got no problem starting over. If this thing goes sideways this year, I'd rather we start over. And I mean, quick. But there's real room here. There's real significant room that this can work. There's a really decent chance that he will stabilize this thing, and then they'll go back in the right direction. But if there is even an inkling that this thing is sideways again, there is no hesitation in this room. We need to move fast.
No, you can't let it linger, man.
No, because then you got to get working on the next cycle of recruiting. Like, no, when you made that decision, you make that decision fast. But I hope we don't have to get there, and there's a real shot that we don't have to go there at all.
Right.
But 2-10 leaves you in this place where it's foggy, and we want to clear the fog and know what we have.
I get the analogy, and I know why you say that, Tom. I just don't think it's foggy. It's clear cut.
Oh, who he is foggy. I think.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Who are you? You 19 in a row? You 2-10 in J State. Because if
the problem is he's both, which is what makes it murky. Yeah.
Right. But if you believed he's more 2-10 in J State, then this was a mistake to replace coordinators and keep him around. If you believe that he's 19 in a row, some circumstances, some of his own making, some big time failures, then you let him hang around.
I hate it. I always feel uncomfortable. It's an omnipresent thought. Everybody's having it. We're almost into July. And so you're starting to get geared up. You're starting to get your mind turned in that direction. You're thinking about practices. You're thinking about the ACC kickoff, the SEC kickoff, and was it Charlotte and where else where's the SEC? Do they do it over
Atlanta? No, Birmingham.
I thought it was in Birmingham.
I think it's Birmingham. I think you're right. Yeah.
I don't really care. I'm not going, but I just
the better one is their spring meetings when they go to Destin.
Yeah,
that's the one that I think that's the one that we would cover as we go down to 30A.
Oh man! But anyhow, it's on your mind, and then when that happens, you instantly go there, and I don't like going there. What's up, 2 Live Hollywood? Appreciate you, baby. To keep one of our coaches, I believe that would have to happen. Getting fired in season, Jeff. I hear you without you saying it. Appreciate you, 2 Live. Thank you, man. Anyhow, I don't like it. It presumes failure, but I'm also a realist. I mean, we did just go 2-10. There's no ignoring it.
You need to be prepared. That's all, right? I mean, we'll let this play out.
We're all armed.
We'll let it.
Everybody's ready to go.
We'll let it play out to a point. But then there better not be like one of those. AD Alford, do you have a comment? Well, we support Mike, and we're evaluating things. No, it's one or the other. You've evaluated. We
did all the evaluating we need.
Yeah. Better not get to that. I don't think it will.
We will evaluate the hell out of somebody, huh? You don't have to evaluate much when you turn it over to my man Shannon Young, Cross Country Mortgage, loansforknowles.com. He'll do all of that for you. The better rates, your options, better options, stronger support, faster response, all those things. Shannon is somebody I vouch for. He's a hard worker, and he's done great things for a lot of Knowles in now 7 different states: Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, and, of course, the Carolinas. He is a relentless, goal-oriented individual who's really good at what he does, really smart, hardworking. Go to loansforknowles.com. If you're on the market, you're out there buying a home, you want the best loan option, Shannon will get those for you. Loansforknowles.com. That's loansforknowles.com.
When you need the plumber quick, how long is an acceptable time to wait?
Hey guys, we really need you over here. My toddler just flushed a whole bunch of toys down the toilet, and everything, and I mean everything, is backing up.
2 hours?
Hey guys, just checking in. The water has reached the hallway now, and it's getting pretty deep. Can you get here anytime soon?
4 hours?
Hey guys, can you please hurry? Now my wiener dog is doing the backstroke over here, and they're not known to be strong swimmers. Hey honey, grab his life jacket.
8 hours?
Oh, so now you're here.
At M&L Plumbing, you'll never have to wait long for quality, dependable service right when you need it. Our qualified technicians aim to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. And now M&L Plumbing can also be your go-to for all septic tank pump-out services. So the next time you need plumbing work or repairs, think of the name M&L Plumbing. Your local plumbing experts, commercial or residential. Give us a call, 850-575-9393, or online at mnlplumbing.com. M&L Plumbing, for all of your plumbing needs.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
This week's Legacy Moment brought to you by Cornerstone Memorials remembers Officer Miguel Santiago, a beloved member of the Tallahassee Police Department. Known for mentoring teens and walking neighborhood beats with purpose and pride, Officer Santiago believed policing was about presence, not power. After his sudden passing in 2022, hundreds attended his vigil. His dedication lives on in the Explorer program he helped launch for local youth. We salute Officer Santiago, a true hometown hero. This has been a legacy moment, honoring the lives that shaped Tallahassee. Sponsored by Cornerstone Memorials, helping families honor their loved ones with dignity and care. Find out more online at cornerstonememorials.org. Do you know of a Tallahassee legacy that should be shared? Text the word legacy to 850-386-8255 to submit your story for the Cornerstone Memorials Legacy Moment.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay, things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Pretty predictable, interesting, kind of comical. Michigan introduces bill to ban reporting NIL deals to NCAA, stop schools from assisting in investigations. The newly approved House settlement has created fallout throughout the college sports world, reads said article, this one by Dan Morrison. Now the state of Michigan has seen a bill introduced that would potentially target part of the agreement that revolves around reporting NIL deals with the NCAA and investigating those deals. House Bill number 4643 was introduced by Reps Tate, Herzberg, Renegans last week. In it, the bill will completely ban reporting deals to the NCAA. On top of that, it would also prohibit schools from assisting in any investigation and ban athletic associations from penalizing athletes or schools for non-compliance. It's out in the open, man. The House settlement, largely known as the settlement that would allow for revenue sharing, more to it than that, obviously, amongst the other agreements in it, to try and shape the future of college athletics, was that NIL deals above $600 will need third-party approval. To do that, those deals are going to be sent to a clearinghouse, a new clearinghouse. This is where you hear Tom and I talk about NIL deals going to Deloitte. They oversee the fair compensation ranges for those deals. From there, the House settlement also established a new enforcement agency called the College Sports Commission, and that it's their job to handle those investigations into proper or improper deals done outside the system that the settlement is seeking to establish. Both third-party approval, new enforcement agency would be directly affected by the bill, to say the least, if it were to be passed and signed into law. This comes in a state with 5 FBS programs. That includes 2 Big Ten schools, Michigan and Michigan State. The Wolverines, of course, just won the national title a couple years ago, the Invitational. Notably, earlier in the year, the ACC, Big 12, Big 10, and SEC each presented their member institution with affiliation agreements that would prevent universities from using state laws to violate the new enforcement rules. The price for not signing on to those affiliation agreements could be steep as well. School risks the loss of conference membership and participation against other Power League programs is one of the consequences that has been presented. It's a tactic that conference administrators have used in the past, so we'll see. Michigan bill shares similarities with a similar bill that was passed in Tennessee.
So Michigan and Tennessee could ostensibly say, well, we're going to follow state law, and what are you going to do, get rid of us? Especially Michigan to the Big Ten. Or are you going to kick us out?
Right.
Really? Okay.
The Bill Lee, the Tennessee governor, signed in May their bill. That was the 536, SB 536 was signed into law. In it, the law states that Tennessee schools will be able to receive dollars from collectives unless told otherwise by federal law, a valid court order, or antitrust laws. On top of that, it made so the NCAA can't create anti-competitive restrictions. Furthermore, the law sought to protect schools from any potential further legal disputes moving forward. So it's a pushback on the House settlement.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways to think about it. Number one, obviously, they want their own state institutions to have carte blanche so they get better players.
To do whatever they want to do, correct.
Right. Or it could be indirectly pressure on federal institutions, aka Congress, to say, you better generate some sort of legal protection here for everybody. So I know that my state isn't getting screwed by another state.
Right.
You come in with the federal law, we'll abide by it. I know we could get into state versus federal, but I think that's also partially what's going on here is the state's like, well, we're not going to be the ones that play by the rules when everybody else is going to break them. So you know what? The hell with these rules. Let's move on.
It didn't take long.
But could you imagine like a bill in the Florida State Senate and Florida State House of Representatives getting passed, ratified by the governor, that says that no NFL team will accept a suspension for any of its players. They will handle disciplinary matters on their own. Like, so the Jags, the Bucs, and the Dolphins, like, well, you could suspend them for 6 games, but a state law says that they don't have to abide by that.
We're not going to abide by it at all.
But that's what's happening at the college level right now.
That's what they're attempting to do, yes. That was just funny. I thought, when I saw the headline, I was like, oh, yeah, well, of course. That's going to, here it comes. Here we go. It was kind of, as soon as the House passed, you were like, oh, here we go. Here comes some challenges.
Well, I have to say that the law does not expressly state that we want our institutions to act outside the rules. We are just legally restricting them from reporting any said actions. There's a big distinction there, Judge.
We're not, just, you think it's nefarious. It is not nefarious in any way. Yeah, it's kind of comical. Anyhow, I do want everything expedited. Talk about fog and clear. Oh, let's go.
This whole time.
Let's go.
It feels like there's a rod in the back of your eyeball. You're just like, God almighty.
Can we get here in a hurry, please? Let's go. My friends at T-Spark Enterprises, they'll come over and get your roof right. I'll tell you that. I had them put on my roof some time ago. It's been great. For all your commercial and residential roofing and construction needs, give T-Spark a call at 850-766-1340. Your next roofing construction project, tsparkconstruction.com. Yes, of course, license all the certificates and advice on making sure that you don't have to get a new roof sooner than necessary. Go to their website to see all of that. Commercial tenant build-outs, private, whatever it is, they got you covered at T-Spark Enterprises. License number CGC 1525336, CCC 1331204.
Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying, or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing NMLS 373031.
Hey, ho, fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. There he is. Haven't seen this guy since, what was it? Oh, shoot. You two at the Sphere in Las Vegas, baby.
Hey, how about that, man? Wasn't that fun?
Good show. Good show. Everything about it. Nearly perfect. Nearly perfect.
I had everything I could possibly want.
I wanted one thing, couldn't find it, and I looked everywhere. No Cubans.
What do you mean?
No Cubans.
There was Cubans.
No, I didn't see any Cubans.
Dude, I'm sure there was Cubans there. I mean, you know.
No, I walked around. There was a moment right before the show. I thought, got to find some Cubans. Nothing.
Dude, there's Cubans. There was Cubans. I'm sure there was Cubans.
In Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas.
No Cubans in Vegas.
There's Cubans in Vegas, man.
Eddie, there were no Cubans.
Chef.
The sandwich. There were no Cuban sandwiches. You're Cuban. Of course I know there were Cubans there.
Oh, the sandwich. Yeah, no, there probably wasn't many there in Vegas.
No Cubans.
No, not yet.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
You want to hear something funny? Every now and then it actually happens on Twitter. I was reading something that Brett McMurphy, tweeted, I think 2 days ago. And it was just about the conference commissioners. So, you can't help yourself when you read anything. You're like, okay, let's check the comments here. Let's see where this goes. This actually worked out to where it was funny. What Brett McMurphy wrote was, conference commissioners have decided to start over on determining 2026 college football playoff format, sources said. The Big Ten and the SEC initially wanted 4 automatic qualifiers each, with 2 each to the ACC and the Big 12. However, the ACC and the Big 12 pushed back. SEC coaches later publicly did not support 4 automatic qualifiers. 4 automatic qualifiers. Do I start the whole show over? It's Thursday. Usually Wednesdays are the problem. Instead, preferring 5 automatic qualifiers plus 11 at-large bids format for a 16-team playoff, as did the ACC and the Big 12. The SEC wants more value given to strength of schedule metrics, something college football playoff executives discussed in today's meetings. However, a source cautioned, even if strength of schedule is supposed to carry more weight with the committee, it still boils down to their opinions on who they think are the best teams. Deadline for finalizing the 2026 college football format is December the 1st. So the very first comment, that's straightforward, right? So the very first comment underneath it was somebody asking Grok, the AI, explain this to me like I'm a redneck from the South. So that's the very first thing. The AI wrote back, all right, partner, imagine the college football playoff as a big old barbecue invitational. Right now, they're arguing about who gets a guaranteed spot at the table. The SEC and the Big Ten, them big dogs want 4 spots each, leaving 2 each for the ACC and the Big 12, 1 for the little guys, 2, and 3 extras. The ACC and the Big 12 said, no, let's keep it fair. 5 spots for the best champs, 11 for whoever else earns it. It's a tussle between the heavy hitters wanting control and others pushing for a square deal, you hear? No decision yet. They're still jawing about it with a deadline by December the 1st. Well done.
Sometimes people can generate good content. I know it's AI, but they got to ask the question of the AI to get that retort.
That's funny. And that was the response. And I thought, oh, great. This didn't immediately turn into something dreadful, something salacious and or somehow political.
This is the new thing I'm seeing. So it's funny you bring that up because I saw, obviously, on international events that are going on in the Middle East about bombing this, bombing that. And the main news account, the first reply that people loved. I think what's happening is people hit the like button on the Grok question. Says, please explain to me the tensions between Israel and Iran in the form of Jar Jar Binks. And it goes on for days and days. Now they are afraid of this.
Oh man. But anyhow, that was well done. Yeah, and I want him to do one for the Michigan bill that was just proposed in a similar vein.
You could ask Grok right now and then read the retort.
Yeah, I could do it.
Redneck Grok. There's our new segment.
Do it. I'll maybe during the break and see if we get anything decent out of it. But
reply to a Neil deGrasse Tyson. Explain relativity like a redneck. Well, okay, partner. Here we go.
Here we go. Oh, man. I would love to. We'll talk about this more in the third hour where we get into more pro sports, but I would love to own a sports franchise. Now, there's a bunch of deals about to go through. The Rays look like they're going to be sold, which thank goodness for that area and for the fans of the Tampa Bay Rays. Get Sternberg out of there. We just learned about the Lakers last night, and it would be so fun. Not only are you guaranteed to make a gazillion dollars whenever it is you sell it, but you just when I think about your day-to-day operation, because the owner doesn't have to run it. He just has to hire people to run it. It's like when you're a kid playing video games or you're in charge of anything that's on the internet and it's a game. Like, it's just a toy for these guys, one that makes them a lot of money. But I love sports, so I got into this job so that I could be in and around sports, talking about it, watching it, enjoying it for the rest of my life. If you somehow had the fabulous wealth necessary to buy the Los Angeles Lakers for $10 billion, you know how much fun that would be? Like the real life plaything, like the Lakers or the Celtics who just sold, or the Rays or your Mets, like Steve Cohen just did. If I owned the Pirates, I mean, that is the job in sports that is the greatest of all jobs. Like, you know what? I'm tired of this. Go get me a starting pitcher. Okay.
Well, the old Lightning owner, Jeff Vinnick, bought the Lightning as precisely that.
Yes.
For fun.
Because
he's a hedge fund manager, made billions
of dollars.
He was fine. He's like, I'm doing this for me and my family and mostly my son. I want to have fun. Okay. Well, if you got it like that, my man.
That's what I mean.
It was in retort to, well, this franchise lost a lot of money over there. It's like, I'm here to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So.
Right. And having fun. Well, this is why everybody begs if their owner is cheap. You're just like, look, man, what are you doing? That can't be fun for you. Like, if you're worth that kind of money, that literally losing $50 million in a year doesn't even affect you. You don't even notice it. You literally don't notice it. Then get off your ass and get some players. What are we doing? That's what I hope gets proposed next for any owner of a franchise coming in to, say, professional baseball. Because that sport, more than any of the others, because it's a hard cap in basketball, there's a hard cap in the NFL. But in baseball, you've got some owners who care about the winning. They're rich as hell. They know they're going to be rich when they sell the franchise, but they didn't buy the franchise necessarily to make money for when they sell it. They bought it because they were so rich they could afford a baseball team, and now they want to win. That's what your owner did. That's what he did. He came in and said, really, money's no object to me. I'm so wealthy, I can't possibly go broke. So we're going to go get some players because I bought this to have some fun. And it's no fun for me to come to the games and watch us get our head kicked in. I know I can't buy guaranteed results, but I can certainly stack the deck in our favor.
And he's also looking to stack the deck in terms of New York state legislation because they've cleared many hurdles to have a casino and entertainment district put in next to the stadium in Queens. Finally.
Well, there's nothing in there. There's nothing there.
There's
When we go, I've been to that stadium with you, and I've been to Queens multiple times. What are we doing?
Nothing.
There's nothing.
You're doing nothing.
There's nothing
You're
to
sitting
do.
on a train for an hour
Yes.
to get to Midtown, which is like 4 miles away.
Yes.
How about an hour train ride?
Yeah,
Awesome.
and then you get off and you go, oh, well, there's just the stadium here.
I'm not going to sit
Oh,
here.
well, there's Flushing Meadows. What can I do at Flushing Meadows when the U.S. Open isn't happening?
Yeah, man.
Nothing.
I have stayed very few times all the way for 9 innings because of the traffic or the wait at the subway station because there's nothing to do. If they had a bar post game, that's what you do. You go find the bar, kill an hour, and then you go on your merry way.
Well, this is what they have done and already approved in downtown St. Pete. That whole revitalization project. And, St. Pete's come a long way from when I was a kid. Goodness gracious.
Totally different from even when I was a kid.
Well, there was nothing in St. Pete when I was a kid. We used to go downtown,
there were knives, and you would get stabbed with them.
Well, kind of. Yeah, there was the downtown St. Pete. It was dead as a doornail. There was nothing there before they built the stadium. They were in Fergs later on and things like that. But there was nothing. And you would go there, sadly, to pay bums money to buy you beer.
That's what you did.
That's what the kids did.
Generally speaking.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
Yeah, there was Janice was there,
which has always been one of the greatest venues for live music. Yep.
And the St. Pete Times building,
which was awesome.
It was. I remember going there for an interview in senior year high school and getting out of the car.
My stepdad's law firm was there.
I better get inside. It's like,
that was there.
I better get inside quickly.
Yeah.
Because at least Tampa was a ghost town. St. Pete was a little edgy.
There was just nothing to do, and it was unsafe. And now there's a lot to do, and it's safe, and it's great, and it's a lot of things. But they're going to make it even bigger and better. I mean, when you do own a team, if you buy a team, you'd like for people to hang around in the area and spend their hard-earned cash with you. And how do you do that? Well, you provide them opportunities. I can spend a little here and here and here. Like when you go to a game in Boston or you go to a game in Baltimore, you go to a game in Pittsburgh, which we're about to do together soon. You go to any of these places. I mean, Wrigleyville's awesome in Chicago. Yeah, I've been to a lot of the ballparks.
Apparently, Milwaukee is unbelievable.
Fantastic. All of these areas, you come up to the stadium, but you didn't just roll up to a stadium in the middle of nowhere the way you do at Queens. And it's just crazy to me. The Nationals are screwed up that way. When you go see the Nats play, a damn thing around the Nats park. Nothing. I'm like, what are we doing?
Oh, night and day between Atlanta Turner Field and Atlanta Truist Park or whatever it's called.
Man, the Battery is incredible when you go there. They have done it right. That is the model moving forward for all franchises. This is somewhat what they're doing here at Doak. You think about the vision of College Town and what that became, the revitalization off of Gaines with all of those shops. And, there's some sad things that happen along the way, like the warehouse isn't there anymore, which sucks because I love that place. But you get it. It's completely the opposite of when I was in school. You go walk around there now, you're like, good God, there's a lot to do. Restaurants, bars, you name it, all that stuff. And then whatever they do, if they ever build another baseball stadium where the IM fields are, that is ideal. Then you're coming out of that. You're pre-gaming. You're going right into the stadium. You're right next to. You're in the shadow of Doak. It's perfect.
Hotels there for anybody visiting
That's right.
town.
Yes,
it's the way it should be,
and that's the way it should be for all of these places. If you can do it, and
if you had money like that, that's the way you would do it. Look, even again in downtown Tampa, that whole area around the building, which has all the events, the owner's not doing that out of the goodness of his own heart to revitalize downtown Tampa. He knows the more people that stay downtown, the more people will go to events. And the more hotels I have, the better acts I can get into this beautiful state-of-the-art stadium or building, I should say. It's all part and parcel. If I was that rich, that's the whole thing. It's kind of like playing an old roller coaster tycoon back in the day.
Right.
You have to build things around the thing that you love. That's new. And hopefully Tampa gets that because then we would go down to more games every year if they did.
It is amazing, and I bring it all up because Jerry Buss bought the Lakers in 1979 from Jack Kent Cooke for $67.5 million. A transaction that included the Los Angeles Kings and the Forum. And he died in 2013. Ownership of the Lakers went into a trust controlled by his 6 children. And those 6 aren't seeing eye to eye currently, so I'm sure some advisor told them, well, we need to do some legacy planning here where the money's going to go because, by the way, the Lakers are worth a hell of a lot more than the $67.5 million your dad paid. Your dad did the right thing by you guys. Get it together. Dad spent $67.5 million. You get $10 billion. I bet they love their dad.
I'll bet they're very strange people.
I bet they are. You're
very
right.
strange people.
I bet they are very strange people. But man, I would love to be a fly on the wall for those conversations. So we're going to sell the franchise. Ooh, we are? How much are each of us getting? There's 6 of us.
Hang on. My transfusion of the blood of the youth is almost done. Hang on. Give me 5 more minutes. I'll call you back.
Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Feeling sluggish? Wake up your body the right way with Vigor. The all-new Vigor Cold Plunge Tub from Hot Spring Spas is now available exclusively at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Boost circulation, reduce inflammation, sharpen your focus, and more. Elite athletes do it daily, and now you can too. Experience the power of cold therapy in your own home. Come see the Vigor Cold Plunge, available only at Pinch a Penny on Capitol Circle Northeast and Greer Road.
Is your lunch break feeling a little bland? Escape the ordinary with a visit to Café de Martín. Whether it's a fresh ceviche or a steaming plate of arroz con pollo, our Peruvian flavors turn any lunch hour into a culinary adventure. Fast, flavorful, and always unforgettable. Café de Martín is your new go-to for lunch. Visit the menu online at cafedemartin.com.
Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good. Get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right. Get a new roof, got to get eyes on those shimmery new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. It's MillerSeptic.com.
Tired of spending money on bug spray and inhaling all those fumes every time you want to go outside? Treat your yard so you can stop spraying your kids.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control has a solution to this persistent problem. Paul's has a program which seeks the grounds, flower bed, and shrubs. Paul's controls pesky mosquitoes year-round, which means you can take back control of your yard. Not only are mosquitoes a physical irritation, they also pose a potential health risk to people and pets. With Paul's targeted techniques, you can rest assured that your yard will be protected and your afternoons will stay fun.
Take back your yard. Don't let mosquitoes interrupt the fun. For more information, go to callpauls.com. For the elimination of termites or any other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Pauls. We'll get them all.
Pauls can help eliminate fire ants from your lawn, too. We'll help you take your yard back.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Crescent, Tallahassee.
Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
Florida men's basketball learning their SEC opponents for the upcoming season. They are going to play 2 games against Georgia, South Carolina, and Kentucky. And then the home-only matchups will be against Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, LSU, Mississippi State, and Tennessee, while they are set to go on the road to Ole Miss, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M, and Vanderbilt. In baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays They come back from an 8-run deficit yesterday to defeat the Orioles by a 12-8 score, largest comeback in the big leagues this year. Series continues today. The Marlins lose to the Phillies 4-2. That series continuing today as well. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years, guaranteed, on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out?
It's Spruce, the new hardworking, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
Honey, what are these mushrooms in our yard? Portobello?
Huh. Let me take a look. Oh,
It's hockey.
I don't know, but our septic system is failing, and our whole yard smells like.
Should we try to cook these up and eat them tonight?
This is bad, Sheila.
Well, we better fix it soon, or we're going to be in deep.
Sheila, look, it's Crud Septic. Our prayers are answered.
Call Crud Septic Service today. Pump outs, installs, repairs, crudseptic.com. That's crudseptic.com.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Show. What's your vibe on the quarterback? Do you think we're going to get him?
O'Neal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's twofold. This is an easy thing to read in a lot of situations, which is the team that he's committed to, he's taking visits away from. So that's not good. For other position players,
right?
That's not the end of the world. For a quarterback, which is supposed to be the head honcho of the class, that's not really supposed to happen. Quarterbacks are not supposed to visit other schools. We need him terribly in this class because the other top candidates, Henderson and Duckworth, are no longer viable options.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a need. We have a need. Let's make sure that we fulfill each other's needs. That's why I think, this is probably going to work
out. Look, you lost your top targets is what you just described. And now you host a kid from Oklahoma must be looking at us like, what the hell?
Well, yes and no. In this case, though, they really have their eye on a different 4-star quarterback.
They do. And he's a 2026 commit to Oklahoma. And they are kind of like, we're looking at somewhere else.
Yeah. Did Bentley commit to them? That's the kid that they want.
Oh, no, I'm saying O'Neal is a 2026 commit.
Yeah. This other 20, Bo Bentley is the kid that they have their eyes on. And they're going broke for, or, going for broke with. And so, it's just, where else is O'Neal going to go? Now, he is from California. Jaden O'Neal is originally, but now he lives in Oklahoma. So he's making his way east, time zone by time zone.
I tell you what I liked about his comments. The visit was solid. Just glad I was able to get up here with my family, show them around Tallahassee a little bit. Thank you. That is fine. I don't need all of the extra that so many of the kids feel obliged to give. And I understand why they feel that way, but I don't need it. I don't need all that.
Can I have an editor's moment with you?
Sure.
I was the editor on this one.
There
were 2 or 3 more sentences.
But
it wasn't. They weren't relevant. They were relevant.
Are relevant.
Yeah.
They're never relevant.
So we moved it along. But
do that for all the other kids, please, because I was so proud of that statement.
Well, no,
and now I know that you edited the hell out of it.
No, I did. No. There's a difference between having a sentence that's like 50 words and then choosing to end it somewhere, which I did not do.
Right.
There were just 2 more sentences. I'm like, not necessary.
Right.
Not necessary.
Superfluous. Yes. Yeah. This seems so succinct, like he spoke it like a grown-up. I was so proud of him. Like we were in a regular meeting amongst men doing regular things, and we didn't need to be all gushy and TikTok-y and silly. We're just talking like men.
You're welcome.
You do that for all of these kids, please. It makes me like them more. I was just happy to read when asked about his visit. The visit was solid. Just glad I was able to get up here with my family, show them around Tallahassee a little bit. That's what men do. That's how we talk. That's how normal people talk. When cameras aren't all in our face, that's the way we talk.
Well, to be fair, I don't remember exactly what was what I decided to redline, but it wasn't anything like they showed me lots of love. It wasn't anything that sounded like most 16 and 17-year-olds. It just, moved off the point.
Right. He went on to say this. Obviously, there people who are following his recruitment closely are asking the question, does he fit in this offense? And this is what's going to be asked of every single quarterback recruit that we have. While Gus Malzahn's here, look, he's operated that offense with different types of quarterbacks, but it operates best with one that can run. It does. And if you go back and look at the numbers with all the quarterbacks, the ones that were much more mobile ran the system better because it's not an advanced passing offense. It's not. It's predicated largely on the math changing because the quarterback can run. So that's the focus. And I guess it was presented to Jaden O'Neal in such a way that he felt more comfortable about how he would fit in the offense. He said, I feel like he's able to tailor certain strengths and weaknesses to calling the play. I do a lot of vertical options, so they do that as well. A lot of play action, a lot of naked boots, and a lot of RPOs as well. So I feel like I fit that part of the system. Now, he's 6'3", over 200 pounds, and isn't a great runner, not completely immobile, but not elite as a runner. So, it's interesting. I I think they really wanted the kid that's going to Houston. Let's put it that way. But they need to get a quarterback in this class.
Yeah, and again, you're right to point out that obviously the system runs best when you have somebody who is hell on earth with his legs.
Yes.
But this kid is pocket mobile. I had occasion to take a look at his huddle. He is elusive in the pocket. He can extend the play. He has a trait that I know you like and I like, which is keeps the eyes downfield.
Mm-hmm. It's important.
If a rusher gets onto him and he's able to shake free of the rusher, it's not, oh, God, let me get out of bounds or let me run for 2 or 3 yards. It's, oh, well, here we go. That just bought me another 2.5 seconds. Somebody is way down the field. Let me cut this loose. And he does have a very strong arm. So the thing is, if you're not going to be a Castellanos runner, you need to have a strong arm because the deep ball is a big part of this offense, the shot down the field. He has some legitimate arm talent.
Yeah. By the way, Florida Man and Bama, I would absolutely have placards set up for these kids. Proper responses to questions. How to sound buttoned up. How to kind of have a worldly sense about you when you're asked questions.
For only 3% of the NIL deal you eventually land, the JCSPR firm can be your friend too.
Correct. No, I would have fun with that because I'd have some cheeky responses on the placards too. Now, if you get asked this, young man, you can always come back with this one right here. This is a good one. That's way down in the deck. That's not the one we're going to normally, so you're going to have to memorize it. So, yeah. If my job wouldn't be fun, says Matt Lasser. I don't know. To get, like, a response that isn't gibberish would be fun.
Hang on now. Jaden's quotes are fine.
I'm not saying that he spoke.
But I've got to protect. That's my job here.
I'm not telling you that he did anything wrong.
Also, Matt, Jeff doesn't think your job is fun.
Oh no,
Breaking news.
Yeah, I wouldn't do your job. But that's a young man's game. I never did that job. And it started becoming a big thing as I got on the airwaves. That's how Gene and I met. So we're watching this kid now.
Well, look, since he's on the topic of discussion.
No. I'm glad that you did it. It's an element that we can bring to the table here.
I thought that was something we were like, really? We're pulling this up?
No. By the way, it was pleasant to see highlight films for those who cannot watch right now because you're listening on the radio or the podcast. We're watching the huddle tape. And the only thing I'll say is it's so nice to see a grass field. I don't even care that it's muddy and worn down. Now that my son is, playing high school football, I go to these home and away games, and all the time, buddy, they're all AstroTurf nonsense, field turf, sorry. That was a dime on the move.
There you go, yep.
Who's the receiver he just threw to?
I don't know.
Are we recruiting him?
That's 2027 3-star.
No, the
Michael
other
O'Connor.
No, the big kid that they just threw to is something. He got a little something to him. We need to be recruiting him. All right, so he's not
capable.
Yeah, he's capable. He's not wicked fast or anything, but he's capable.
You have Sperry to be that person in the battle on the quarterback rotation. Yeah, this looks like Stidham. This looks like Jarrett Stidham, which Dominic did a big-time breakdown on months ago when we were doing the Gus offense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the offense run by Jarrett Stidham. That's what I'm saying. I'm going another route if I can, but it doesn't. Look, again, we get caught up in all this. You got to have a quarterback in the class. You whiffed on your others. You didn't get the kid that's going to Houston who is a beast and would run this system so perfectly. We need to overpay for that kid.
As we're running O'Neal huddle, we really need to pay for Keyshawn Henderson.
We do, and it has nothing against O'Neal. Keyshawn Henderson looks like a superstar in this offense. And I would just remind him, and I get it, it sounds like hubris if you're a Houston fan, of which there are none. But if you're a Houston fan, I would say, honestly, you're Houston. What are we doing here? Talk to that kid. You want to go to Houston? Honestly, you want to go to effing Houston? Houston. What are we even talking about here? Houston? Come on. I can't believe this is a conversation. This is Florida effing State. You want to go to Houston?
Maybe you should have your pal Tony Tokars tell him that should be the pitch.
I'll text Tony. Tony, tell him he chose Houston. Does he know anything about Houston?
I don't believe you'll do it. I think you should. I think you should activate Siri right now and say, "Hey Siri, text Tony Tokars the following."
I don't think he would appreciate the text, but I hope that when this was all going down, Tony went, "Now, not for nothing. I just want to remind you, you're committing to Houston." Say it out loud. I'm going to go play football at Houston. Right? What are we doing? What are we doing? You know how many schools that if we play this game that I'm playing with you right now sound better when you say it out loud than Houston? All of them. But let's just go through them together, one by one. Let's start right here in the ACC. I'm going to play football at Georgia Tech. Sounds better than going to play football at Houston. I'm going to play football at Duke. Believe it or not, sounds better than I'm playing football at Houston. I'm going to play football at Syracuse. Way better than playing football at Houston.
Ooh,
See? Way better. Way better. Way better. Way better.
Maybe for somebody born in the 70s.
No, Fran's a good coach. They're doing things up there at Cuse. Houston. Tom. Houston.
Hey, man. No. Easy. I got some Houston pride over here.
Because of a video game.
That's right. It was real to me. You're not wrong.
I'm just saying I get it.
I'm
know
going to Florida State. I'm going to Houston. Which one has more?
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
I'm a Florida State Seminole.
Yes.
I'm a Houston Cougar.
Yeah.
That sounds like you're a Karen out on the town downtown.
Again,
that's what that sounds like.
Houston
Houston
people
Cougar.
are going to take issue with all of this. That's fine. I understand.
What's the Cafe Divorcee in Houston?
Houston's a massive city. I think it's the
Houston,
fourth largest in the country.
But that's where the Houston Cougars are, is in the Divorcee Cafe. They're certainly not on campus playing football.
He wouldn't get that, though. He wouldn't get that reference. But
that's not that old of a term, is it?
I just don't, If you go season by, hey, I guess you could, do you think he even remembers the Art Briles era? The Kevin Sumlin era? Maybe. There is no Tony Levine era, I don't believe. That was 3 years and not good. I don't,
Holgerson, you mentioned him?
Major Applewhite.
What a name.
We're currently in the Willie Fritz era, following Dana Holgerson's era that you're talking about. And I just, let's see here. I'm going to pull this up, have a little fun with it. It's a toughie, Tom.
I think for the podcast, I'm going to title this segment, Jeff asked Tom how he feels about Jaden O'Neal so he can talk about how he feels about Keyshawn Henderson. Segment 1.
4-8. Willie Fritz a year ago, 3-6 in the conference record. Under Dana Holgerson, they were a robust 31-28. Under Major Applewhite, they were 15-11.
Do we want to do this record thing right now?
We're awful right now. That doesn't mean that Houston's good.
I'm just saying, to a 17-year-old, he might not care too much about what happened 10, 15 years ago or more.
Tom Herman had a nice little run and then fell on his face and is almost out of football, or is out of football, I think.
He fell on the foreheads of the children he was tucking in and kissing at bed check on a Friday.
I was right. The Tony Levine era didn't exactly light it up. 21-17. Even Art Briles went 34-28. Buddy, you got to go back to the great Jack Pardee, who went on to the NFL.
Well, Ted was our pal for the bowl game years ago. Old Ted Pardee came on the air.
That's right.
Remember that?
I forgot about that. Yeah. Good old Ted Pardee. Anyhow, yes, I know they beat us in said bowl. 38-24, Peach Bowl 2015. We were down on the field beforehand. You and I, we ran into CeeLo in the elevator.
Oh, sorry, everybody.
That was, I don't know that we thought back in those days that the course for Houston was going to go the way that it did, which is a whole lot of but sorry.
Yeah, it was up and away in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Houston. Come on, kid. I don't care. Family ties, all that stuff. Yep, they're giving them a ton of money. I got it.
I'm trying to think. I've been in stadium settings with both Spike Lee and CeeLo Green, and I don't know which one is taller between the two of those gentlemen.
Oh, CeeLo is incredibly short.
So is Spike. Oh my God, he's very.
Yeah,
very
he's tiny.
small.
He's tiny.
Yeah,
but CeeLo is tiny and fat.
I'm not asking who weighs more. I know who weighs more between the two of them. It's CeeLo.
Listen, doesn't matter if you're short or tall, you can book with our friends. That's right. And you're saving a ton of money if you do it. Flash it up on the screen. I want to see some waves, Tommy. AboveandBeyondVR.com. Above and Beyond. There it is. Look at that. Look at what we're doing out here. Book today. Get you a place on the water today. AboveandBeyondVR.com. Look at that condo you and I stayed in, buddy. Gorgeous. Replete with all of the goodness.
Those were some nice morning tapings for those broadcasts as the ACC was falling apart in the lawsuit.
Yeah, those are good times. Good times here, and you got over 30 properties, and look at that. Look at that. Just beautiful. Anyhow, our guy, Matt, down there does good work. You can go get you a place for the family, friends, whatever you want to do, hang out, and you're saving a lot of money. No middleman fees, none of that. AboveandBeyondVR.com to go look at the properties. I mean, whether you want to, again, like a palatial estate or you want just a little cottage.
3-night stays for July 4th weekend on the water for $750 or cheaper. All in for $750. All in 3 nights. That's total $750. Yeah.
Use the code JCS, saving 10%. No middleman fees. Working with Knowles. AboveandBeyondVR.com. Do it today. Do it now.
AC and electric is what we do. Service, repairs, and installation too. 222-7722.
Is your home ready for anything? At Parker Services AC and Electrical, we do more than just keep you cool. We keep your whole home running smoothly. From AC maintenance and duct cleanings to whole home generator installations, we've got everything you need for comfort and reliability. Join our Peak Performance membership to keep your HVAC system in top shape and catch issues before they turn into costly repairs. And with a reliable generator, you'll never be left in the dark again. Call Parker Services today, where comfort is just a call away. Water license number CMC 050334 and EC 1301240.
I got some pretty spooky news from my Paul's termite and pest control technician the other day. It turns out that I'm sharing my home with Formosan termites. Those little monsters do damage about 4 times faster than the regular termites. Fortunately, Paul's discovered them on a routine general pest service, and they've already turned the Formosans back using an amazing treatment called Centricon.
Paul's was the first to introduce the Centricon termite colony elimination system to North Florida and is the leader in this non-invasive treatment. Instead of dumping gallons and gallons of harsh chemicals into our soil, Centricon uses environmentally sensitive treatments loaded in bait stations. These stations are placed around the home. Termites are present, they feed, and take it back to the colony, which is then destroyed. To learn more about Centricon and a free consultation, go to callpauls.com for the elimination of termite or any other pest.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Ain't nothing but a G-Pod, baby. I am 99% sure that is not how the lyrics go.
Well, you like remixes, right?
Of course.
Well, think of this as a Grassroots Coffee remix per se, because Grassroots Coffee is now in the single-serve coffee pod game.
Dude, those single-serve coffee pods and cups are weak sauce.
Not Grassroots Coffee G-Pods. They have more coffee in them than regular single-serve pods and cups.
Seriously?
And not only do they have more coffee, they have a built-in filter for better brewing. They fit in most Keurig machines, and they are fully compostable.
It's still the small batch, slow roasted coffee you love, so go to grassrootscoffee.com and get your box of G-Pods today.
Baby!
See? Remix!
Well, actually, that's more of an homage.
Grassroots Coffee, locally owned, locally roasted, and made for everyone, loved everywhere.
Grassroots Coffee G-Pods. So very good.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
I will tell you, it's not that Houston, somebody just texted me. I'm like, no. Look, guys, I understand Houston's had a couple of moments. Every freaking school has. But we're talking about the cachet built up of years and years and years. Houston doesn't have much. Kids can go wherever the hell they want to go. He wants to go to Houston. It's right there. That's fine. Go to Houston. But, I mean, that's a toughie because that kid is perfect. That's all I was saying. He is perfect for the offense. And I want to see this offense run with a guy that can really move. Now, your retort is you're going to this year. That is true. He doesn't possess the size and strength and overall ability that the Keyshawn kid does. But, yeah, Castellanos should the question we got asked when I talked about running the hell out of him, we got some emails after that show. And 4 different people said to me, I agree with you. You don't owe him anything. Run his ass to death. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. Whatever. You have to win by that method, him running. The question was, who would we go to if he gets hurt? Would it be Brock Glenn, or would you go straight to the future in Sperry?
I think the 2 games early on against Commerce and Kent State actually have that subplot built into them. East Texas A&M and Kent State. I think
it's very real because you're not going to run Castellanos much in those games.
No, the trial run for those 2 guys. I think Brock Glenn leads now. I think that they're intrigued by what Sperry brings to the table, and they're hopeful for what he could potentially down the line bring to the table. But I think if it happens in Alabama against Alabama, it's Brock Glenn, and it's not it's a 0 moments hesitation decision to go to Brock Glenn.
You're not throwing a true freshman in against Alabama.
Correct.
And I get it. I think you don't want to ruin the kid.
Even Miami, I think it might still be the case. But Sperry's got a chance against East Texas A&M and Kent State to change that.
I think you would be very wise so Castellanos goes out there to start the game. He's your starting quarterback. It's just his second game in the system. You're not going to start one of the other kids. So you go out. If you take care of business, is East Texas the first one?
It is, yes.
Okay, so if you take care of business against East Texas and you're up, you're not screwing around like North Alabama.
I don't think Gus's offenses have the capacity to screw around in those situations. In a moment like that against an opponent like that, because they're just going to run, and the kids are going to quit, and you're going to score, right? I mean, isn't that?
I would think, ideally.
There are some offenses that, like Jimbo's could struggle in that situation because the receiver has to see the side adjust and yada, yada, yada. And
Right.
This is a far simpler offense to run against an outmatched opponent.
Yeah, anyhow, you get up 21-0. you get Castellanos out of there, and it becomes a tryout. I'm having both those guys play a good bit of football in the remaining 3 quarters. I'm watching Brock to see how he runs the system. Obviously, I'm watching Sperry to see how he does early on, and I'm doing it the following week in that nothing game as well. Again, Castellanos is starting both those games. He's got to continue to get used to the system and running the offense and getting better at it. But the second we get a pretty comfortable lead, I'm not getting him hurt because I am going to run him to death when we play Miami. And I am going to run his ass off against Clemson and Florida if he's still alive. Because I'm doing it. I brought you here to run like the wind blows, son.
I'll tell you what here, Tommy. If you make it to the end of the Florida game, I will let you sit in my chair. And I said shit, as in sit down. And I'll have people come get you coffee. You raise your hand, and they'll fill their coffee cups. That's right.
That's what an old school guy does.
That's
right?
what
an old school guy does.
You can take a sheet in this chair. I'm uncomfortable saying the other word too much. Feels like I'm showing off.
Oh, buddy. If he does make it to the Florida game, goodness gracious, we're probably having a pretty decent year.
Hold your cup in the air, son.
Hold it high.
They're going to fill it for you. Because I'm an old school guy.
Also, I wish I had a cup filler because I drink a lot of coffee. I'd love to just be like, yo.
There are a few people over the years that have filled that role. But you didn't hold it up.
I did not do that. I didn't ring a bell.
Is there a story about him ringing a bell?
No.
I wonder.
No, but people have,
the cup story that's common knowledge. That's been brought up. Mike has brought that up.
Yeah, that's a toughie.
Yeah.
That's a weird flex. It's so weird. What are we doing out here holding up our cup, man? Come on.
Maybe he should hold up his feet with his socks on, and that means get my shoes. Where are my shoes? It's time to walk out there to the practice field.
I don't know. There's something really fun about doing work while you're getting coffee. I like having conversations with people as I'm pouring a cup of Joe. I feel we're doing a business thing here. I'm pouring this coffee while we're talking about the thing. There we go. I like to do that. You see that I'm ready for the occasion.
That's right.
I've got my coffee. I'm active. I'm doing some things here. I don't have time to wait. I'll pour my coffee while we're talking about the thing.
One of my favorite recurring moments back in the day, I don't know that you realize this on the fly. Every once in a while, that Keurig machine would break, and I would know if it was broken because it wouldn't be making a sound. Like you'd hit the button and you go back into the studio.
It didn't work.
Well, that's not working. He's back out here. This is not going to be pleasant, but it's going to be funny.
Yeah, it was probably a WTF with the first words out of my mouth when I walked back out there.
Yes. What the F is wrong with this machine?
You all saw me press the button. What do we do?
That's the 3rd time this month.
Oh, man. Tried and true consulting, helping your business make money, save money, processing transactions. Let's go. They'll get the hardware installed for you, set you up, have you running in no time, and you'll know that you're doing business with the best. Also, fellow Knowles. Also, guys that are giving back money to the battle's end so that we can compete. It's what we do. It's Tried and True Consulting. Give them a call today. I've talked about them a lot because I've really enjoyed our relationship since they've come on board. They're active right now in Tallahassee doing some work. 3 new businesses, restaurants, bars, food trucks, home service businesses, medical, dental, surgical, auto repair, all that stuff. They got you. They'll also do the ad menu board there, the free video board for you at your place of business if the wall's right for it. Come on. Let's get with the getting. 844-464-6653. 844-464-6653. That's Tried and True Consulting.
Your local news now.
The Agency for Healthcare Administration building on Mahan Drive was evacuated Wednesday afternoon after receiving a threat. A spokesperson from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement said the situation unfolded when an AHCA employee received a call from a suspect who made a bomb threat toward the building. FDLE's Capitol Police responded with explosive ordnance disposal and canine teams to clear the building, verifying that there was no threat to the safety of staff. FDLE said officials are continuing to investigate the incident. The Leon County School Board unanimously passed an artificial intelligence policy Tuesday night. The policy sets clear guidelines for how the technology can be used in classrooms. Under the new policy, district employees can use AI for administrative and instructional tasks, including lesson planning, communication, and scheduling. Teachers will be given the discretion on whether or not to allow students to use AI in their classrooms. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Partly cloudy skies this afternoon with a chance of thunderstorms. Daytime highs approaching 93, west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of thunderstorms tonight, lows dip down to about 74, mainly clear skies. A blend of clouds and sun tomorrow. Storms are likely, high of 93. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently, it's 90 degrees.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
There is no Bigfoot, Eddie. Would you stop with that nonsense?
There's a Bigfoot, Jeff.
I wish there were. By the way, I don't want you to point to me as the guy that takes all the fun out of the room. I wish there was the Loch Ness Monster. I wish there was the Bigfoot. I wish there was the Chupacabra. All the things.
They're all mythical except for the Bigfoot. The Sasquatch.
The Bigfoot?
The Bigfoot. There's big feet. There's lots of them.
So like different, breeds, like different kinds
there's
of.
There's like families. There's different families. And,
so there's if they're in the snow, you call them a Sasquatch
or the Yeti, right?
Yep,
and then here in Florida, that's a skunk ape. And I've
never heard that one. By the way, why do you think it's real? We would have found them by now.
They're the hide and seek champions of the world. Nobody finds the Bigfoot.
I think you believe in Bigfoot.
I do believe in Bigfoot.
You don't believe.
I believe in Bigfoot.
Don't tell anybody you believe in Bigfoot.
I would go look for Bigfoot, but he scares me.
Florida, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Yeah, I forgot to give you guys my picks for the Travelers. What do you know? I just forgot to do it, Tom.
What do you know? What do you say?
I won some money last week. And this week I had first pick, so I did take Scotty Scheffler. He is currently 3 under through 4. That's a good sign. They went low today. The lunatic that is Wyndham Clark was 6 under. That's a miracle. Austin Eckroat is 8 under. Rory McIlroy dropped to 64 on the table today.
Hey, I guess he probably found time to speak after.
There you go, Roars.
Maybe he did.
I don't know. I'm not mad at him about it. I wouldn't talk anymore either. He's the only guy that gives you anything real ever, and then they burn him. I'd be like, screw all y'all.
Last week, his U.S. Open interview on Friday or Saturday.
I think it was Saturday.
The thing of little people, man. That was little people energy.
He was also asked about it, though.
Yeah, but
that's the thing. He's going to keep getting asked about.
I have earned the right to do what I want. Okay, man. All right.
Right. Well, but that's, again, the question was, do you think you've earned the right to do that? Yes, I think I've earned the right to do that. There's no good way to answer. It's a loaded question. You can't answer that right.
There are times when he crosses the threshold
beyond
I get defense.
I get it, but I also think that I'm right about the fact that he's the only guy that would talk about real issues for years. The only one. All these other guys give you cookie cutter nonsense. He'll give you his thoughts. He'll give you an opinion that he knows isn't popular. He'll do all those things. And then there's, sorry about that. We're leaking stuff out here on you. Just like, what are we doing?
I don't know that the media leaked something against Rory McIlroy because they have something against Rory McIlroy to paint him as a cheater. And that's what he believes happened, which I think is totally erroneous.
What he's saying is that it is awfully odd that it's happened twice now. So if I'm him, I'm like, okay, look, what do I gain? We're not required. Many people do not talk to the press at all. And that is weird, though. As an aside, regardless of where you're at on the comments that he had or didn't have, or whatever it might be, I don't understand why the PGA Tour does that. I would make my players talk to the press afterwards. Every other league does.
A simple fix. It really is.
It's an easy fix.
They just changed the tour championship method mid-season, so I'm sure they can change this.
But I'm saying, like, that's the way you get your players out there. And a handful of them get it. Like, for years, Rory got it. Like, he gets it. Like, this is a chance because also there's a real money in it. Yeah. If you've got a good personality, if you are thoughtful, if you are interesting, if you're not just a machine that hits golf balls for a living and walks off the course, goes home and does it again the next day, if you have things to say about anything, live, all that stuff, it's interesting and you can build a brand, and it's in the best interest of the PGA Tour to have many of these walking brands be known. You know, like have somebody like a Victor Hovland, who I think is charismatic, talk to the press on the regular. He's fun to listen to. He seems like a pretty interesting cat. I'd like to learn more about him. Have all of these guys, if you could. By the way, this leaderboard, this is an elevated event. So it's going to be a good leaderboard.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, I agreed. And that's good because this usually has been one of those tournaments that gets kind of like stuffed in the bag. You're like, oh, yeah, they're up in the Northeast again. And this is Keegan Bradley's event typically, right? The Travelers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, Keegan's in the top 5 again. It's a cool course.
It's in Connecticut. Yeah, Highlands. Yeah.
It plays very well on TV, this course.
River Highlands is beautiful.
Yeah.
It looks like a course I'd like to play.
Yep.
Every time I see it, I'm like, ooh.
The one thing, though, is it does have that horror film New England neighborhood feel to it. Like you see the homes on the hill. I'm like, I don't know. Is this like an M. Night Shyamalan movie? What's going on here?
But it's a purse that is sizable, as in $20 million. Your reigning champion is Scotty Scheffler. Go figure. And Rory's towards the top. You've got big names throughout the day here. Jason Day, Victor Hovland with a good day. Scotty Scheffler in the midst of a good day. Boy, come on, Shane Lowry. Can we get it together? Same with you, Ludwig.
Last thing on Rory. Did it bug you that he didn't give Jack a heads up for Memorial? I'm not a big Jack defender when it comes to Jack the dude. Like, nice enough guy. Sure loves to talk about his own accomplishments. I mean, make a phone call. He gave you time to talk about strategy at Augusta like a month before. You can't pick up the phone and tell the guy, hey, man, I'm not going to make your event this year. Sorry about it. But my schedule, I've missed Travelers 2 years in a row. I really don't want to miss that again.
Well, I'm not allowed to miss it again because it's an elevated event.
So's Jack's.
No, but I'm saying you're allowed to miss one elevated event. And so he chose that.
Right. It's just a little heads up. Like, the guy just did give you his time ahead of your Masters win.
I have no idea. I guess I didn't look into it. I didn't even read Jack's comments about it. I have no idea.
Well, he didn't give him a heads up is all. It's like, he's like, and Jack said, I'm not trying to make a thing about it. I skipped a lot of events, but it would have been nice for him to call me. Yeah, that's
okay. But what are we doing, Jack? I mean, I got you.
What are we doing, Rory?
No, but I'm saying, what are we put a guy on blast? What are we doing?
He was asked about why is Rory not playing? I mean, at that point, you're like, well,
yeah.
To be honest, guys, I don't know. I don't know why he's not playing.
Yeah, he's still basking in the glow of the Masters. There's golf is in an interesting place right now, but they need more of the good of the guys that can, talk intelligently about a lot of different things to do more talking. And that's a policy change that I would make. There's no sense in not having some of these guys. Many of them are charismatic when they do bother to sit down. One guy that is starting to finally get it, he's incredibly boring, but he's starting to get more interesting. He's got a dry wit to him, is Scotty Scheffler. He's pretty funny, actually.
Yes, his cool factor has gone up in the last year because he talks more about gambling and
and giving strokes to his friends.
Right.
Imagine being really good friends with Scotty Scheffler or Tiger Woods or Rory McIlroy or any of these guys, and like they want to hang out with normal people. They're sick of playing professional golf. So if they're going to play a round of golf outside of practice and actual, in an event, they want to have fun. So they're going to pick you or me or whoever it is that they're buddies with, but you got no chance. So this is where it gets great because you're like, all right, do I get 10 on the front 9? Do I get 10 on do I get 20 strokes today? What do I get?
Well, yeah, he was talking about how he's playing with his buddies. One's a 10 handicap, which means he sucks. And I'm like, ooh, as somebody who's stuck on a 9 and change right now, it's like, yeah, that's probably right. Because I'll bet he's a +7. Is he a +6, a +7?
Who's buddy?
No, Scotty himself.
Oh,
so
Scotty
he's a
himself.
+6, +7.
Yeah.
So he would be giving the equivalent of my level of golfer a stroke a hole. Sir,
but the moment
that's hurtful.
Yeah, and the moment that you tee off, like it's his turn. You're like, it's 320. You're like, okay.
Well, yes, and it's home course, no pressure. I mean, he should shoot 59.
Probably does.
Yeah.
You're like, this is gonna suck.
I need more than 17, my man. I need you to give me 25.
But when you have a chance to beat him on a hole and he's 160 out because he screwed the hole up, and you're like, I'm within 3 feet. I got a shot. Hits it beyond the hole, backs it up to an inch. Okay.
Nice par, Scotty.
Yeah.
You could still make the birdie putt. Well,
I'm not going to now. Yeah. Absolutely. It would be fun. It would be fun. Back to this. Are we going to get the defensive end? Are we going to get the 4-star flip? Is that what it is? Is the A&M kid the defensive end, I believe?
Who's that?
Madden Williams?
Well, that's a receiver.
Oh, I was thinking, who's the end? It had to have been an end in here that I saw.
Henderson?
Maybe that was who I was thinking.
He's like borderline 5-star. I don't know. We'll see.
I know you have to shoot all these videos. There's a reason I'm being lazy here, folks. Tom has to shoot these videos with Michael and Matt, and he gets the latest updates. So I'm just using you as a resource.
I also do the thing that we do when we watch press conferences. I look at the kids' interactions outside of Moore when they leave their official visit. Because sometimes
Trenton Henderson. That's who I was thinking of.
So Madden Williams, the receiver, I think if we want him and he wants us, I think that's trending in a good way. He's friends with Jaden O'Neal. You can read the tea leaves here. He's West Coast. Jaden O'Neal's West Coast. He came out of the visit wearing our stuff, and he seemed very happy. It mirrored, I'm trying to think of who it was that was here in December last cycle. And I'm like, oh, man, that kid committed, and he didn't want to say. Oh, Amari Williams, a couple of years ago. He walked out of the facility, and he had this smile on his face. Like, just say you've committed, man. He couldn't do it. I'm like, well, that kid's coming here.
Well, there are all these stipulations oftentimes on what these kids are willing to say because they have to kind of manipulate the process.
Yeah.
It's a weird.
Also, sometimes coaches ask them to wait because it would be a higher point of momentum, I suppose, or splash factor or whatever.
I don't, it's interesting. I don't have any disdain for some of the antics that the kids in recruiting get involved in the way that I used to anymore because of how crazy college football has become and what recruiting's become, and how June is now a big thing. And I understand that they're being asked like, well, let's hold it till this day or that day. And so when they're coy, like, I'm sure that there's some sort of engineering going on here.
Sometimes, and look, our recruiting guys can speak on this better than me, but sometimes I think it's that the coaching staff says we would like to have a wave of commitments at a certain time. So it looks like we've just made this huge splash. I think other times the kid is ready to commit, but they want to know if the offer they got NIL-wise is the best offer. So they're not going to do it. Let me go home, chill for 72 hours, and see if the phone rings. I would imagine that has to be part of it sometimes.
I would like to see how this is all going to change given the landscape and the rules changing and rev share and all that other stuff. But and fans get angry, and I saw it earlier today, and I've seen it before. When a kid who you're recruiting is especially an elite player, and I've said this too, that's a weird line to walk. If a 5-star is interested in you, is a 5-star interested in you? You just went 2-10. Is he? Or is he using you for more money from the other school that he plans to commit to all along? And most of the time, the answer is that.
That's fair.
Currently.
That's fair. But, FSU was able to monetarily entice a couple of high 4-stars in December to say yes. And it looks like Chauncey Cannon, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name yet. Usually you got to get on campus and impress before I learn your last name. But he looks like he might be somebody who makes that decision. And he, depending upon where you look, he's either high 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't get a kid. I'm not saying that none of them are interested when they're that highly rated. but I am cynical, certainly. And I guess the larger question that you ask, and I think it's important, as a staff, when you're recruiting, you've got to get better at recruiting. But it starts, obviously, with getting this ship turned around. And that means you really can't help yourself right now. You got to beat some good teams and get people interested that way. But you do have to allocate your most prized commodity, which is time, for kids that realistically you can get. And when you're coming off a 2-10, how much time do you spend on 5-star kids that are, being offered by Georgia or Ohio State?
Sure. Yeah, you're not going to win very many of those right now.
No.
You might win 1 or 2 out of 10, maybe 1 or 2 out of 10. I think that's probably fair.
Yeah, maybe. We can find the hit rate. We can see how many they get. He doesn't get 5-star kids.
Understand? Yeah, I understand. We got Tylon Lee. Now he was classified after the fact as a 5, but yeah, I hear you. The thing that I find interesting also is you're also allocating money towards your cap. And I'm not even necessarily meaning the rev share 20.5. Every football program, even before the House settlement, kind of knows the ballpark in which they operate.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have 12? Do we have 20? Are we Texas? Do we have 40? And so when you commit an offer to a kid, a certain dollar amount, you would hope that kid, if he's committed to you in August or July, is not going to screw you at the 11th hour, because that's a big percentage of your total budget you're spending on this kid. And if he flips at the last moment, well, I have this money. What do I do with it? Because now everybody's picked a home.
And Lord knows we've had way too many flippity-doos at the last moment.
The one thing I wonder, the article yesterday from Dellinger spoke on having an early signing period in July or August. Here's an externality I wonder if these people have considered at all. If you're able to sign, and which means that you can opt into the rev share in August before your senior year in high school, how many high school kids are going to opt out of their senior season or be told that you don't need to play in your senior season of high school football? If you move that signing period up and that kid is already guaranteed money, if I am his steward, his agent, his parent, I'm saying, I don't need you to lose this money by pulling out your hammy week 2 against Gadsden.
I know. This is like what happened with the bowl games and the draft and, all the opt-outs. Like every time it happens, you feel like college football takes a beating, and then we're going all the way to the high school ranks now. And there's something gross about that. It's awful. This idea, as somebody who played high school football, that camaraderie and brothership that you have, that it's unlike anything else in your life. It only becomes more and more professionalized, even at little schools.
Right, but
that's the one innocent time you have. I understand.
Well, not anymore, but
yeah. I'm saying it used to be. It was the one you just played, and you played your ass off, and you got recruited. Maybe you didn't. Sometimes you did. Whatever it was. But the thought of not playing in a game with your teammate this Friday night because we're worried I might twist an ankle. It's for a 16-year-old. That man.
It's a lot of pressure, but it also is a reward. Imagine if Tommy or William were offered $1 million.
I know. I don't know. I don't know, because I'll tell you this. I don't know what they would have done. You're right. I can't presume anything, but I played with both those guys and they were warriors, and I just can't imagine.
Well, could you imagine if Florida State came to you and they said, look, we're willing to draw you in to the Rev Share Fund right now. You're one of the best 3 safeties in America. $1.5 million. We don't need you to play your senior season, though, and we'll see you in December when it's time to hit.
No, I get it. It's life-changing money. It's life-changing money. I don't resent the kids who would opt in. I don't. I just hate it. I hate that it's affecting high schools. It's just feels gross.
It isn't yet, but if that signing period comes, I think that only logic would follow there. I can't see a college coach saying, "Have at it." Son.
So imagine, so you're Ephraim White, and you play. Where does he play? Vero Beach. Okay, so you're there, and you've played with these guys for 3 years, and you're getting ready for your senior season. I don't know if they're any good or not. I don't know, but let's just say that they got plans. They all do. Everybody does. This is going to be our best year yet. Off-season conditioning, all of that stuff that you do, all of that together. Sorry, guys, I got paid $1 million. I'm going to leave. I'm not playing. Everybody would kind of understand that, but that's awful. That is awful.
I think, yeah, if they do the signing period, I think that junior season is going to be your money year at that point. Some kids might still play because the money might be good, but it's not great. And so the development is important to play one more season. But okay, for the best of the best, if you're Jeremiah Smith, I mean, come on. If you're able to sign in August with Ohio State and they're willing to give you $2 million, $3 million, I'm not catching one pass in one game until I'm wearing the scarlet and gray.
No, I get it, buddy. I completely get it. And I know kids reclassify, Brett. I know it happens all the time. I'm not saying there are some special circumstances where you're like, oh, if you're that kind of great, transcendently great, if you were Jeremiah, like before choosing Ohio State, and allegedly we had a chance. Can you imagine if we had gotten him? We probably would have blown it because we didn't have anything else. Yeah,
20 catches, 270 yards, and a transfer.
But I mean, yeah, that's a kid that is so gifted, and nobody that young should look like that. But those are rare commodities. Those kids. Yeah.
And Brett's point is, yeah, there are early enrollees in December now, but why wouldn't you just early enroll for the fall semester? You know what? Could very well. That might be a new thing if that signing period gets moved up. We're supposed to hear about that in the next few weeks, if it's going to happen or not.
It's amazing. Yeah. I just don't want to live in a world where sophomores are now being affected by this in high school. We got to stop somewhere. Don't have me come on here and talk about a middle schooler. No, stop it. Final hour, fourth coming, bonus hour. Stay with us. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Discover the bold and surprising flavors of Peru at Café de Martín. From sizzling lomo saltado to savory handmade empanadas, every dish is made with heart, history, and soul. Crafted by